I was on the passenger seat driving around the boulevard one afternoon, and I couldn't help but notice the moon on the horizon. "Look at how big she is," I said. "And look at how small we are," I thought. Why are we alive? If you know that 100 years from now, I will die, you will die, everyone we know and love will die, and everything we had ever built will all be turned to dust one day, and the sun, the earth will be gone in a couple billion years from now, and longer yet, the last episode of One Piece will still be unreleased because of the fucking filler arcs, and if we know that all of that will inevitably happen, what are we still doing here? I asked that to a friend of mine after snorting a huge amount of cocaine. The thought had accompanied me for weeks. I tried to get people's opinions on the matter, and a lot of them gave me similar vague responses. Because God willed, or nothingness went brr, yo, and created everything. Yo. These reasons had came across as negligent for me. Primarily because I felt like they failed to explain the essence of the question itself. They covered the answer with their own self-made beliefs, which unintentionally limits them from finding a better answer. But one response stood indifferent from the others. It came from that friend of mine, Bob. Bob said, "I like making my girlfriend laugh. She has one of those laughs where it sounds exactly like those dolphins from SpongeBob, like..." And then he laughed. It reminded me of a quote by Albert Camus, an Algerian French philosopher, who said that the literal meaning of life is whatever you're doing that prevents you from killing yourself. And I guess for Bob, it was his girlfriend's laugh. I had failed to understand that quote before. I've always imagined that the meaning of life would be this complex and fulfilling explanation over everything, so I refused any vague notions that tries to explain it simply. Because it can't be that simple. Can it? But then I thought, well, what if I was wrong? What if I'm like them? What if my beliefs are limiting me from finding the answer? And the revelation stunned me. Bob noticed my stunned state and attempted to ease the situation. He said, "So, your reason for being alive would be waiting for the last One Piece episode to come out?" He succeeded. What? No! God, no! Jesus, imagine me doing that? Couldn't be. While shitting myself trying to think of another reason. I stopped to think. I asked myself, why am I still here? It took a while, and I just smiled and said, I think for me, it would be visiting my mom. I like visiting her. And for a moment, I felt at ease. It caught me off guard, but the pleasant kind. I remembered why I'm alive. I realized now that those vague responses I received were answers in their own right. It was me who was asking the wrong question. I wanted an explanation, yet I was asking for reasons. So, after thinking for a bit, I said to Bob, well, now the question just changed from why are we alive to how are we alive? Without missing a beat, Bob said, I don't know. What? I said, questioning if I heard right. I don't know, he said again. Bolder this time. And you're proud of that? I said, holding a punch from swinging because of this almost cocky way of speaking of his. He made eye contact, then averted his gaze back on the road. He took a deep breath in, then said, we don't know everything. To be more correct, we will never know everything. Acknowledging it is good, and accepting it is better. What? I asked, confused. He continued, the universe is big, like real big, and unfortunately we won't live to see the end of it. In knowing this, we can either fall into despair and kill ourselves, believing that everything we do is insignificant and there's no point to anything, or we could embrace the absurdity and go get fucking high in the Himalayas with local farmers and a goat named Emma. And I don't know about you, but from what I've heard, Emma is a hot goat. The reason I exist? Because my dad liked my mom. Why do I like my girlfriend? Because she has a nice ass. Why do you enjoy visiting your mom? Because you love her. All these things already has an answer to them if we choose to settle. Yet you say that we limit ourselves from achieving greater knowledge, while I think that you're limiting yourself from experiencing happiness. Why be sad if happy works? The sun still sets the same at night. I think there's a word for that. I think it's called willful ignorance. I attacked. Then willful ignorance it is, he allowed. That's bad. I said, confused. Then should I be sad about not knowing everything? He asked. But you should at least try to achieve it, no? I asked back, while knowing that it's unachievable. He retorted. He caught me on that one. He continued, look, I'm not saying that we should turn a blind eye towards our suffering. I'm saying that, yes, today, my cat died, and tomorrow, I can either hold a funeral or go learn how to twerk. And I think I might just do both. Then we laughed. He went on further. You're right. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life, but doing so while knowing and accepting that you will never truly grasp them, it's absurd, yes, but it's also beautiful, because it's from them where we're able to enjoy the arts, poetry, beauty, romance, love, the things that we stay alive for. And as the sun sets on that cold autumn night, for the first time in weeks since I had this thought, I tried to truly open my mind. I had claimed to be open-minded, yet I starved myself towards certain self-made beliefs that can't be or shouldn't be the answer with my own self-made beliefs. I limited myself. And for the second time, I took a glance at the sky and this time saw the stars. Look at how big they are, I said. And look at how small I am, I continued. And took my first shaky breath in this absurd world, youthfully holding this new absurd belief of mine while comforting myself with the saying, we will never know everything. Acknowledging it is good, and accepting it is better. Acknowledging it is good, and accepting it is better. Acknowledging it is good.